There was a research that showed that men need to know only 30% to talk about something as experts, while women need to know 70% before they would consider themselves as expert in a field. And that shows you already that there's a huge gap between how comfortable I am to talk and to sound professional in something that I do.
My guest today is Topaz Zafrir. Topaz is a life and business coach in British Columbia, and she helps self-employed women press send, show up, and talk about their work without freezing or hiding. In the episode today, we talk about what playing small actually looks like day to day, why another certification will not fix it, and why she never tells anyone to step out of their comfort zone. So, any of you who ever read a job description, counting the 2 things you can't do and close a tab, this episode is for you. So hi everyone, and welcome back to From a Woman to a Leader. I'm Limor Bergman, your host, and join me and Topaz. Are you ready? Let's dive right in. Actually, I'm very excited because today I'm for the first time recording at my own home, and I invited Topaz Zafrir. Hi.
Hi.
Coming from British Columbia.
Yeah, from Canada, British Columbia, a long way.
And I thought maybe, Topaz, we can start with your kind of statement that you put on your page.
Yeah.
You said, I help self-employed women press send, show up, and talk about their business without freezing, overthinking, or hiding. I love that statement. So first, tell me, how did you even got to that, to work on that specific challenge, which a lot of women face?
Okay, so I come with a background. I have a master in organizational behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And then from this master, then I started to work with in a company, in a consultant company. And that was for a year. And then I traveled after my master and I fell in love with a Canadian. That's how I got to Canada.
The Canadian are nice people, right?
They are very nice people. Well recommended, if you ask me. Not that it was my plan, but you make plans and God laughs. And and I found myself living in a small town in Canada. And I started working with small businesses. And I found that I'm lacking the one-on-one tools to create meaningful transformation. So I went back to school actually for coaching because I felt that what was needed. That a lot of people don't necessarily need the advice per se, the consultancy. They need a better way to listen to themselves because they know what they need to do. But they need the push. They need the accountability. They need someone to believe in them and hold their hand sometimes. Sure. And then I started working in my practicum. I got so many brilliant, talented, smart women that are just hiding in many various ways. They're hiding. Everyone had their own story, their own strategy of how to do that. But most of them were finding it hard to push their business and succeed in the way that they could. They were not fulfilling their potential. In other words, they were playing small. Playing small and not really taking the steps that they knew they should. It means, for example, not following up with clients that were interested. It means, for example, not proposing themselves for a project or a specific career that they wanted maybe. It means so many different examples. Some of them were directly towards marketing, not wanting to be in the front, not publishing on social media, scared to talk to people or clients and promise results. Many, many different kinds of ways. But then the feminist in me was like, no way, you're so talented, you're so smart, you're so capable. And I felt like this is a true calling of mine to come help those women to fulfill themselves better than what they're they can do it. I'm just there to kind of help them promote that.
First of all, every sentence, every word you said, I could highly, highly resonate with. I mean, personally. Mm-hmm. Where does it meet you personally, by the way, Topaz?
It's a good question. First of all, I guess that a lot of us, most of us in some point of life would feel some sort of imposter syndrome. We just finished school. I have a master's degree. Whoa, it sounds very fancy, but I don't know the work, and I'm needing to go out and be hired or do my own thing. And all of a sudden I need to say that I'm an expert. It's like, it feels like I'm an imposter. I'm just starting my business. I'm going out, I'm feeling like I don't know enough. I can't promise. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm held back. For me, even just coming, I am living now on the other side of the globe. English is almost a mother tongue, but it's still a second language for me.
Yeah.
And I need to deal with different cultures, and I need to deal with different systems and bureaucracy, and I need to start all over again. And even just choosing to have my own business as a life and business coach meant that I needed to step outside of my comfort zone big time, because it would be way easier to just find a job. But I didn't want to settle for something that wasn't really who I am and what I felt that I could contribute the most at. So I needed to step outside of my comfort zone. And that part is really something that I could resonate with my clients. And I am a small business myself. So I'm mostly telling my clients that I walk the walk while I talk the talk.
Absolutely. So you walk the talk, and can you share kind of, what helps you? Like, as you mentioned, stop hiding, step out of your comfort zone, start showing up as the valuable coach you are.
What helps me is I kind of try to stick to the to-do list that I'm doing. I know it sounds funny, maybe, but once I recognize, I prioritize what I think that would move the needle the most. That's one big thing that I do. I try to understand what from my priority list is the most important. And once I understood that, even if it's not comfortable, I would understand, I would break down this into small pieces, and I would understand, okay, I'm going to do this structure first, and then this structure. And then what do I need to do? Do I need to call a cold call? I'm going to do that. Do I need to publish a post that it's exposure and I'm not sure what would be the reaction? I'm doing that. I'm kind of pushing myself step after step, and knowing that this is something that I think, at least at this time, would actually move the needle, helped me understand that this is what I want to do.
Incredible. It sounds easy, but I know it's not.
It's not. It's definitely not. A lot of my clients are finding it really hard from different reasons, but it's mostly what I find time and time again. It's the inner critic that come for a visit. You know, those inner critics that tell you you're not good enough, it's not in high level enough. We have bars that are so high that prevent from us taking one step forward, because it's not feeling good enough or professional enough, and we are our own worst critic.
Absolutely. And I would say to our listeners here, perfectionism is the absolute enemy of growth. And women, as women, unfortunately, right? I mean, unfortunately, we strive for perfection, and stop criticizing yourself. You are good as you are. And as you mentioned, Topaz, we need to start one step at a time.
So maybe I just want to normalize it a bit, because the reasons that women are such high criticizing themselves, high level of criticizing, is because of social norms. We are expected not to be too much, right?
Yeah.
Don't be too assertive because you're going to be bitchy. Don't do too little because then you're not influencer enough. It's kind of hard to hold all edges at the same time. It's really hard. It's almost impossible, really. You kind of need to walk on eggshells to be good enough, but not too much, and not too little. It's sometimes impossible. And just to share with you something really interesting, there was a research that showed that men needs to know only 30% to talk about something as experts, while women need to know 70% before they would consider themselves as expert in a field. And that shows you already that there's a huge gap between how comfortable I am to talk and to sound professional in something that I do?
I will share our listeners what I do. I always say yes. So I'm being approached. Sometimes, in things that I don't consider myself an expert. And, I've been recently approached for AI training, okay? And it's not something that I publish, that I'm an AI trainer or an AI expert. However, I do use AI quite a bit, and probably I know much more than others. And what I say is yes, absolutely. I will do the training. Now, I don't know exactly what I'll train on. I don't know exactly the material I'm going to do. But I say yes. Say, if they think I can do it, and I think, yeah, I can probably, even if I don't know everything right now, I can figure this out, I'll just say yes. And I'll figure things out along the way.
Good for you. I'm celebrating you. And this is exactly what I mean. Like, life offers us possibilities and opportunities that if we're not taking, then we would, like, what is the bar? Honestly, when are we good enough? There's always more preparation to do, more research, more schooling, more whatever. This is endless. You would always be better in few years than you are right now. Yeah. This is a fact. But when are you stop hiding? When do you stop doing another diploma, starting another training, going back to the sketching table? Like, when are you stopping in order to actually do what you need to do? Like, there's something that is just an inner call. You would never be perfect. You would never have the bar where you want to meet it. It would always be higher expectation from yourself. So you got to push yourself. You got to. Like, otherwise you would be stuck in this vicious cycle of endless improvement and refining. And I feel that women are kind of caught up in that because we want to be so much better than, like, our own expectations of what we are and what we are capable of are so high. Well, men, it's not all of them, obviously, but feel like they get permission more from society to just have mistakes, to like trial and error. And this is something that I hope that if you take one thing from this conversation is that you would allow yourself the trial and error. You have to. Like, no one is born perfect, and you have to understand as you go. I know it's like everyone heard this sentence, but to really feel it, to really give yourself the permission to not be perfect from the beginning, it's huge. And this is something I work with my clients on.
So can you share, like, because I know it's hard and it requires doing things you're uncomfortable with, right? I mean, comfort is the enemy of growth, I would say.
Yes.
It's like you have to become uncomfortable. And walk us through, like, maybe a typical client or something that repeats itself that you do with women and it helps them.
Ooh, there's many things. I'll give an example. Maybe this is something that maybe different women could identify with. So I had a client that came for me in order to understand. She was a freelancer and she wanted to understand, maybe she wanted to expand and maybe even to have her own company. And this is a scary move, right? This is a huge leap.
Yeah.
And you need to understand, like, if you're ready for this, if this is something, this is your calling, you need to invest a lot of time, effort, money. And throughout our sessions, it almost felt like the answer was no, because it's too scary. It's like stepping too many steps ahead. And the thing was, I don't have the answers. Always the person that coming to me has all the answers. And I was like, okay, like, I was reflecting back and forth, like, what's your strength? How do you work with them? What's your values? How are you aligned with who you are and what you want to bring to the world? And it was so funny because throughout our process, we were leaning towards to be a freelance and kind of to stay more in the safe zone that allowed more freedom, because that's what she was prioritizing at the time. But then towards the end, something started to shift. After she got more the confidence and started to see her process, started to see herself, her strengths, her possibilities, something started to shift, and she was actually leaning towards a company. And eventually, a few months after, she opened her own company.
Wow.
because it was a process. There was no pressure. There was no pressure. There was no right or wrong option. There was all the possibilities on the table. And now what is actually the most accurate thing for you to do? And yeah, it was gradual. But maybe another small tip that I could share, especially when it comes to stepping outside of the comfort zone. This is something that we all have, and we're all trying to. I'm usually actually not saying step out of your comfort zone, but expand your comfort zone. Because if you step out, this is too scary, right?
I love it. Expand your
yes,
comfort zone.
expand your comfort zone, because you don't want to step away from where you are completely. Then you feel like helpless. You just want to do something, small steps. Small steps are our best friends. So I actually have a tip for when we're standing on the edge of our comfort zone. One thing that I'm trying to help with is actually not listening to their inner critic. And one way to kind of bypass it, actually sit and write a list for all the reasons that you actually can and will succeed. Our inner critic is there to protect us. And it means that we're starting to focus on all the negatives. What could go wrong? What would fail? Where am I not knowledgeable enough? Yada, yada, yada. And when we are concentrating on the bad and the failure, this is what we feel. This is what we create. It's kind of a prophecy, right? That we are creating. I'm inviting everyone that listens to this, and my clients as well, to start actually do a shift and focus on the positive. Why can I actually succeed? Why can I actually make it? This is something that feels super small and super like, no, I already know it's fine. But no, most of the time, like, we are convincing ourselves we're not capable enough. And we need to change the lens in order to actually work through our strengths, work with what we already have, and go towards success. What we feed, it's what grows.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with you. And you mentioned playing small. How can you not play small? It's like, I relate with that, right? We are not striving big enough. But what does it look like to stop playing small?
Well, I would say that also with my clients, there's many different levels. Some are fearing even to have one video of themselves on social media or market themselves or something like that. And some are doing that and like finding it hard to go bigger. So there's many different levels. And I would say this is a personal thing of where you tend to play small, but there are kind of different strategies that you tend to take. So for example, if someone offered you, as you said, with the AI lecture, if you would find yourself listening to your inner critic, it would be, this is not my realm of expertise. I am not knowledgeable enough. I am not related enough to this. I can't do it. This is too much. This would be something that is like an inner critic dialogue that comes up. Or even imposter syndrome, like, who am I to be talking about this? I'm not
a world expert in it.
I'm not a world expert. It's not even my main expertise or something that I'm known about. So this would be like, oh, no, I can't do that. That would mean playing small. But playing small could be even like leaving money on the table, of not calling back people that were interested in working with you because you are afraid that you would bug them. And if this is sound funny, just so you know, many women are dealing with that. They do not want to be perceived as bugging or perceived as the annoying marketer, the annoying, I'm just selling to you or whatever. This is something that many women are dealing with. So not playing small could come in many different ways, but you need to start recognizing what is the field, what is the strategy that I usually take? Am I refining constantly? If it's a lecture, if it's a post, if it's, in a meeting, I'm going over my notes again and again and again and refining and nothing is good enough. Like, it's a pursuit that never ends. This is one sort of strategy that could take, or going back to school, another diploma, another training, because I'm not sure that I could be perceived as professional if I'm not having this and that criterias in my CV. This is another strategy. There's many different strategies. It just depends. What do you know about yourself that is a constant thing?
Yeah, I'll share something. You mentioned something I relate with that. So yeah, so playing small could look like, yeah, I'm not like a world expert in AI, but actually, when they reach out to me, I start thinking, I may not be the best expert in the world in AI. I'm probably not. But I know how to teach people at different levels, at the pace that is right for them, and make them feel like not complete idiots, right? This is a challenge a lot of times, like, oh my God, this is too much. Like, make them feel like good, comfortable, safe, and learn based on where they are. So I thought about that and I said, actually, I'm the perfect fit because I bring the coaching mindset, right? That I'm supporting them where they're at.
So you know what you did? You did exactly what I advised. You search actively for the positive lens of why am I the right person to be doing that?
Yeah.
And you find your reason. You found your reasons because you do have capabilities and you do have experience that is relevant, even if it's not 100%. Because I could identify with what you said, because I'm really good at teaching people. This is one of my kind of superpowers. If I know something, I could explain it to other people. That's what I've been doing, facilitating and different stuff. And I know that I could do that. And it doesn't matter the topic, even if I'm not, as long as obviously I know enough about it.
Nuclear science.
It's not exactly, like, it's not rocket science that you need to kind of be an expert, that no one else could renew anything on what you say. Obviously, there's way more stuff in the world to be learning, but it's, am I willing to take the possibility? I could share from my own experience.
Please do.
That even just 2 weeks ago, I've been helping in a networking event of a women organization that was happening. And one of the organization asked me if I could share few sentences, few words, even she was saying, about imposter syndrome, because it's part of the things that I talk about in my work. And I said, yes, of course. And I did not expect it to be long or anything special. And apparently we were 50, 60 women in the convention, and she called me up to the podium with a microphone, with a presentation with my face, and saying about me, showing me as an expert. And I was not ready for this at all. I was thinking it would be very casual and like kind of talking from my seat and nothing like that. And I felt the imposter coming in a second. Like, wow, am I ready for this? Like, I did not prepare. What am I doing? I'm going to make myself a fool. And, and then I was like, no, like, the world called me to walk the walk, to talk what I preach. And that's exactly what I went. And even though I maybe stumbled a bit with my speech and like I was not perfect, but I did it. And I got so many positive feedback because I was standing there and I was showing myself and I came vulnerable. And coming vulnerable is amazing. It shows that you're a human being and you're relatable. And yeah, there's no distance in that. And that's what I want to tell people and my clients, because when you're human, you are relatable. I could work with you. I want to work with you. Like, I could identify myself in your path, in your way, in who you are. And if you're perfect, then it's untouchable.
I love what you said. And by the way, I also bring a lot of vulnerability to my talks when I talk in conferences, and people really relate with that because they don't want perfect people who are at a pedestal, right? They're untouchable, they're perfect. They actually want to see people who are able to be vulnerable, to share their struggles, to show their imperfection. So they can relate, so they can feel, yeah, I'm like that as well.
And in the AI era, it's even more important because everything is so perfect. All the text, all the even videos, there have been edited so many times. Like, this is not what people are relating to. Like, if you're such a perfect character, then maybe for the best case, you could be an inspiration, but this is always come with a distance. What people could actually relate to is like you telling your story, you sharing from your own experience, you coming and showing your vulnerabilities. If I shared about something that did not work for me, a client that I did not close, or something that was not working well for me, this is something that I would get so much more feedback, positive feedback and attention than any perfect stem that I would publish.
Absolutely agree with you. Yeah, love that. Yeah, and I want to encourage all the women that, as you said, shy away from the camera, or even like writing or sharing your stories. This is why I do this podcast, to bring the women to the front line. So bring yourself to the front line. Again, do it in a way that is less intimidating, so you don't have to be in front of the camera at the beginning, but your story is important and it's interesting to share. So start sharing it.
Yeah, you are one and only. There's no one else that could play your part but you. And this is something that is beautiful. And people want to know who you are, and people want to connect with you on different levels.
So stop hiding.
Stop hiding. And the hiding is actually making you unapproachable in so many ways. And also, like, yes, no one else would come to save you and get you out of there. But if you recognize that you need this help in order to step forward to your full potential, this is totally doable. And this is something I want women to know. Like, you should not settle and hide and stay safe where you are. If you recognize this and it's something that bugs you and you have this inner critic, but you know that it's not maybe the final answer, that's okay. And you don't have to stay with this alone. This is totally doable and changeable. And it's really important because you're living your own life and no one else give you a second try. Well, depends, I guess, on what you believe, but this is the life that you need to live fully. And in order to fulfill yourself, sometimes we need to expand our comfort zone, but you can do this. And like living up your dream is, wow, it's
definitely.
Like, you know that you tried.
Love that. I think that's a wonderful way to end the episode today. And Topaz, before we end our episode today, how can women find you?
So I have a website and I have Instagram and Facebook. So
I'll share those.
Yeah. And really even just to come ask questions. I'm very wanting to interact, and feel free to send a PM or anything like that. I am really wanting to help women. This is something that I feel is really my calling, and I would be very interested to hear from you. So,
wonderful.
Yeah, feel free to contact me.
Thank you so much, Topaz, for coming here today and recording this.
Thank you, Limor. I had a great time.
Thank you so much for listening to the episode. I hope it was valuable for you. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcasting platform and share it with any woman who needs to hear it. And I'll see you next week. Bye.